You have returned. This time, please do not do anything hazardous. I am here to help.
Today we're going to be reviewing Baymax. Now he's not my favorite figure, but he is pretty good at single mob combat and healing, so if that's the type of character you like to play, Baymax just might be the figure for you. His special isn't horrible either, but it's really only good against single mobs. I'm going to show you what he can do in a second, but first, let's take a look at his skill tree. So this is what we've got. He's pretty much melee and healing, with of course his special and a little bit of range, and we'll go into it in detail. Let's start with this melee, which is where his focus really is. We've got mid-air recovery is the first thing we can get, and we should always get that. That is a very important skill no matter what figure you have. And then up here we've got the damage increase and tough love. Now what tough love is, it adds one more attack to his ground combo. So it gives you one extra hit without actually having to hit the button. And that can be really good if you're surrounded by heavy monsters. It can get them out of the way quicker because he's really not good at dealing with multiple enemies at the same time. Further down we have Street Spike, only because we have to get to everything else. Scanning for Fear is his uppercut. This breaks an opponent's block, and it also knocks figures back a little bit. So if you have a monster that's right next to a cliff, you can knock him down and defeat him early without having to actually defeat him. And then down here we have Slight Pressure, which is the bonus damage to his air assault. Everybody has an air assault. Everybody has the ability to have damage added to it. It's not a whole lot, but with Baymax every little bit helps. And then one more damage increase for the melee to round him out. Down here is the special area. We of course unlocked his special. His is Handout. What it does, it shoots his fists out in front of him in a wave-like pattern. It'll hit everything in front of him, but he does have an issue with being surrounded by monsters. It won't hit everything around him like some other characters' specials, so that's something to be aware of. We also unlocked both the special move damage bonuses and the special meter upgrades, so that way he can do the special more than once. But we did skip the speedy meter upgrade because I found that you can gain enough sparks without having to be able to get bonus special for each spark. Up here in healing, which is really where Baymax shines, the first thing we opened up was Pacemaker, and this increases Baymax's running speed. After that, you've got all of his healing boosts that give him an extra amount of health. To get to most of them, we had to unlock Helping Hand and Team Player, and what those do is they allow you to revive other characters both faster and with less of your own health, because it costs health to revive your friends, and these two upgrades let you do that faster and cheap. And we also unlocked Baymax's shield. Now not many characters get an actual shield, and what it does is it takes damage before the figure itself actually takes damage, and it replenishes over time. So the first unlock unlocks the shield itself, and then we have the shield surge, which adds the amount of shields you get, and booster shot, which increases the rate that those shields generate. Because Baymax really can't handle multiple mobs at once, he really can only do one at a time, it is really good to have a shield, because if he gets surrounded, you're gonna get hit, and the more health and shields you have, the better. And last but not least, we have the range. The first thing we open up is Robot Recoil. This is Baymax's charge attack. Every character who has a ranged attack also has the ability to unlock a charge for it, and Baymax's is called Robot Recoil. It adds to the damage, and in Baymax's case, it actually unlocks the ability to do something else with his range, and for him that's Fist Bump. What Fist Bump does is it increases the number of mobs that are hit by his charged range attack. There are 3 levels of it, 1, 2, and 3. Make sure you unlock all 3 of them, because this is the only way Baymax has of dealing with multiple mobs at the same time. We also unlocked the range attack upgrade once, so that way he can do a little extra damage with that ranged, even though he is mostly a melee character. Well, that's his skill tree in a nutshell. Now let's go take a look at what he can do with it. So let's look at some of Baymax's basic attacks. Today we're going to go ahead and try to beat up a small ice giant. First is his basic ranged attack. It's pretty good. It'll knock him down in about 2. The thing to be careful about the ranged attack though is it is kind of easy to miss. And so if you miss, it takes about that long to get your hand back. And until you do, you're not making another ranged attack. Let's go ahead and show you his basic melee attacks. This is his combo.
Competitive physical
That
activity.
extra kick at
It
the
is
end is
advisable
due to
to
that
get to know
power
your
we
opponent.
unlocked. For smaller mobs, you're not really gonna ever see him use that. But when you're attacking a big ice giant, that extra kick can be the difference between getting smacked and not getting smacked. And this is his uppercut. It's pretty powerful. As you saw there, it was able to kill that ice giant in 1 smack. So it's not a bad power to unlock. But let's show you what it looks like when he tries to fight a whole bunch of mobs at once. Now we're going to look at what Baymax can do surrounded by a horde of regular mobs. Now there are not going to be any bosses in this, but this is going to show some of his weakness when it comes to combat. Again, it's going to be all regular ice giant, frost giants. But first, let's show you the good thing about that charge ability. That'll bounce around quite a few mobs. The number it does is kind of random, and that can be an issue. And how many of them it actually kills can be random, which is also an issue. But at least it does some multi-mob action. But other than that, everything else is single mob only. And while he's pretty powerful, so he can make quick work of them, it just takes longer to do the work that maybe another more area of effect figure might be able to do. I didn't take much damage. It doesn't do... it's not that he's gonna die surrounded by these mobs. It just takes a whole lot longer to take care of this many enemies than it might with, say, a Thor or a Rocket Raccoon. But again, that's not really what this character's for. He's able to keep his own, but he really is more of a support character. Another thing just to show off real quick is his special. And we'll do it right where it goes in front and it kills a couple. They go all the way, and it'll continue to hit mobs as long as they're in the way. But if you're in a hurry and you accidentally say pop it off like that, well, luckily they all ran in the way, so it kind of worked. But you can miss. You can do a minimal amount of damage with your special if you're not careful. Let's go ahead and finish off this group of ice giants, and we will move on to our next demonstration. That's it. Alright, now let's take a look at what Baymax can do to boss monsters. We're going to actually spawn quite a few in a row. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've seen how there are figures that can take care of multiple bosses at the same time. Baymax isn't going to be able to do that, but I will be able to show you how powerful he can be against single enemies. There's the mid-air recovery, and boop! And off he goes. That's a nice knockback you can get off of his uppercut. I'll show you how powerful his special move can be. If they're all in a straight row, he can kill 2 to 3 boss creatures with it. Which isn't, like I said, it isn't horrible, but it really does make it difficult if you find yourself surrounded by too many. I'm going to go ahead and do his respawn then one more time so you can get a better look at how his combo works against these type of mobs. Like I said, it takes about 1.5 iterations of the combo to kill a boss monster. Oop. Getting ahead mid-air recovery. Mid-air recovery, I can't stress enough how important that is to a character. Most of these bosses have a way to knock you down or trip you, and so it's nice to be able to quickly recover from that. And that's the quick work Baymax can make when you're talking about killing boss monsters. Well, that's our figure review of Baymax. Like I said, he's not a horrible figure. He can actually be pretty good at one-on-one hand-to-hand combat. And he's not too bad at multiple mob ranged combat. But where his strength really lies is in healing other figures. Please don't forget to like the video, especially if you learned something new. But if you have any questions about this figure or really any other figure, put it in the comments and I'll get to it as soon as I can.